And good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a special edition of Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 live stream television. It is Wednesday evening. Hope that you've had a wonderful Wednesday. It has been almost a springtime weather atmosphere out there. And again, that you've been out enjoying it, at least getting some air, getting a break. We know that we've all been caught up in our homes and actually staying away from a lot of people. But hopefully, you had a chance to get out and enjoy this beautiful day. We have a fantastic interview for you tonight. Again, we are doing a special series. We've had various candidates from the city of Richmond on with us last night. Not a candidate this year, but we had Dr. Irving, who is the city sheriff here for our great city of Richmond. And tonight we have a young lady that I've had the pleasure of talking to several different times. She is actually running for the school board here in the city of Richmond for the 8th district. And we are pleased to have with us tonight Reverend Dana Sally Allen. Well, say that 10 times fast. How you doing? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
This fine. First of all, thank you for being with us tonight. We know that it's been a busy schedule for you leading up to the election. And so, again, thank you for taking time out of your schedule and coming on our broadcast.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure as well as an honor.
We are, again, our focus tonight is to give you an opportunity to lay out your platforms and talk about how that there's a stark contrast between you and your opponent. Again, to outline those things that are going to be beneficial for the students here in the 8th district. This is one of the largest districts in the city. So, again, there are a lot of critical issues that the school board will be dealing with. And I know that hopefully after November the 3rd, you hope that you'll be part of discussing those critical issues.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it too.
One of the things, again, and talking about your platform that you made it crystal clear was about tea. Let's talk about tea tonight.
Okay. The T is transparency, engagement, and accountability. I am the president of the Blackwell Civic Association. I've been the president for 3.5 years. And one day I was just walking through the neighborhood and I began to do an assessment. And then I realized that I needed to have transparency, engagement, and accountability with the constituents in the Blackwell community. Therefore, I began to knock on doors and ask the individuals would they be interested in assisting me in organizing and having a meet and greet to establish the new Blackwell Historic Community Civic Association. So we did that. And I realized by being transparent, engaging, and accountable, we were able to work to build a city within a city right in the Blackwell community. Using those three tools, to accomplish 96 new homes that will be built in Blackwell, 400 and some $1,000 to a playground that's in Blackwell, and also 300 and some $1,000 to street repavement in Blackwell in 2 years. Now we're just waiting on this to move forward with the infrastructure to our park. And I've been in constant contact with the director of Parks and Recs, Chris Felk, and they were supposed to meet down there between October the 5th and October the 9th. And with that being the case, they were supposed to have the engineer down there and reiterate the plans for the new Blackwell Park on 1400 Morris Street. So
Now,
in the case, I said, all right, now it's time to take the T to the next level, utilizing the ecological system, which is the micro, the macro, the exro system, and the chromo system. Now, when I spoke at the Federal Reserve Bank, I informed them that their words were, if either one of those systems is depleted, whoever is living up under that system is less likely to have a productive life.
Hmm.
Therefore, I utilized the T. And then it came into my spirit that the T is healing. So I need to move this forward: the transparency, the engagement, and the accountability. So that's the T.
And that's awesome. And we have seen a resurgence of the Blackwell area again with the revitalization, with the renovation of Blackwell. And I'm very partial to Blackwell because I taught there for several years at Blackwell with Mr. Robert Conrad. And it was, one of the things that we know is that our students, when given the opportunity, can and will excel, and we
Yes,
just have to make sure that they have all those components. What are some of
yes.
the things that, in terms of being engaging, that you plan to do to make sure that our students within the 8th district and also across the board and working with the other board members have an opportunity to excel?
Yes, when you deal with lived experience, that experiential expertise and that experiential knowledge, bringing that type of experience to the board. Now, the board would be diverse, and then you would have input and foresight and insight into other areas where some individuals may not be aware. We can say we've been to public housing, but have you stayed in a public housing a month, a week, a year, to literally see the needs that's needed in public housing? Going to public housing, just knocking on the door, it can't give you everything that they go through because they're not going to show it to you. For one thing, they need to know that you are engaging with them. They need to
Hmm.
going to be transparent with them, and then they need to know, are you going to stand accountable when it's something that they share with you? They face a risk of losing their children if something takes place. So bringing that to the board with that knowledge, with that wisdom, with that empathetic understanding and unconditional positive regard that we can bring to the board and collaborate with one another, share those and implement those and change policies so that they can be all inclusive.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned, when you're talking about working with inner city children, there's a different dynamics here opposed to maybe Henrico or Chesterfield that has to be addressed because many of them deal with a lot of real life issues before they get to school, while they're home, and try to, we have to try to, would you agree you have to create a safe haven for them within the school system?
Yes, the safe haven will come when they have their case managers and their support services and their mental health skill builders and peer specialists. Because see, when you think about the microsystem that comes within the ecological system, it doesn't just start at the school. It starts before they get to school. That's why the parks are so important, so they can build their social skills, their sharing skills, their team building skills before they get to pre-K. So yes, it will take a collaboration from outside agencies and organizations and nonprofits that has that empathetic understanding and that unconditional positive regard to go that extra mile, because that's what we needed to build everyone up, not just building buildings, but to build every child up so they can have an equitable education. It can be in equality. That's why I speak about the anti-racism that we need to do from the core of it. They've been crippled, and that's what we need to realize. They don't want to hand out, they want to hand up, and that's what we
Hmm.
need to give them.
Now, in a Richmond Times Dispatch interview, you did touch on the racism, and if I can quote here, it says, "Yes, I would like to revisit the matter. Participatory democracy is needed. Our pupils, their growth and development are important, and they need to have teachers and people that look like them and understand and dismantling racism." Can you elaborate a little bit more on that for us, please?
Yes, I've been reading a lot of information. Then I'm not going to call her name. I saw where a young lady had to actually go to the court building to try to get information about retention about our teachers, and then start paying attention to the teachers that I would see in my passing by or just seeing someone and talking to them. And then I started talking to the students, the pupils that's in the Blackwell area. And as I've been canvassing, walking, door knocking, I've been sharing with students and they've been sharing with me that they would like to see more teachers that look like them, because racism is such a big thing. When they see teachers that don't look like them, they're being confused. Are they racist or are they not? So we can have more teachers that look like them, and that's all different cultures. They would have a better trust in the teachers, and that's what I'm hearing in this 8th district. And I've been to Blackwell, Oak Grove, Collinwood, Cherry Garden, David Garden, Woodstock, Borough, Carteret Farms, and Adams Park. And I've heard children saying these things. So when I'm out there just campaigning, I'm not just campaigning. I'm a support service specialist, and I'm always doing the needs analysis. It's natural. And when I see those things, that's when I speak on them.
And that's awesome. One of the things you mentioned just a moment ago about teacher retention, what would be a part of your plan and suggestion, one, how to recruit the best and the brightest for our students in not only the 8th district, again, across the board, and how do we go about retaining those? Because, again, during my tenure teaching school, not only in the city of Richmond, also in Chesterfield, I got to see the stark contrast between the tenure of teachers in the city. There was basically a tremendous turnover, and they were being recruited by other districts, of course, because they paid better, the benefits were better, the working conditions were better in other localities. How do we change that paradigm?
We must change that paradigm, and that's going to come with the board coming together, and we addressing administration, human resources, the state level if necessary, and the federal level if necessary. That's something that we must do. We must provide the teachers. I read that they have to fund their classrooms, but they only are able to deduct $250. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and I have teachers in my family. $250, it looked like they're paying almost $1,000 for the material that's in their classes. And if that's the case, that's taken away from their families. I'm quite sure they have a husband and children. So our teachers should be paid in an amount of money where they want to work in Richmond, not whereas they want to work somewhere else. Richmond is a rich city. We should be able to have that budget, an itemized budget, where we should be able to fund our teachers and be allies for our teachers. Our teachers' voice matter. They have hands-on experience with our students. That's how we are able to get information on our students in those classrooms. You have to make them happy and make them want to be there. Not stressed because they don't have enough money to pay their bills and spending $1,000 on material out of their money and only can take $250 deductible from all of that. It doesn't make any sense. That needs to be addressed. Absolutely. And I know there's going to be state laws and it's going to be bylaws that I'm going to have to read. But I have really been focusing on my campaign and getting out there and meeting the individuals. But I know I adapt and I'm a very quick learner. So what's behind the scene, I don't have privy to as of yet. But I will and you to come back on your show and explain more that can be done once I see that information.
Absolutely, and I would love for to keep this district informed, because a lot of people again tune in to our broadcast. I want to talk about the public. Again, this is in line with what you were just saying, the public school system funding. We know that there is inadequate funding right now, and that sometimes it's a little bit contentious between the city hall, the mayor, and the school board in terms of properly funding our school system. How do we, again, work in unison? And what would you say to the school board members and to city council about making sure we have adequate funding for our kids?
We have to take it to the next level. Apparently there is some inadequacies there that we're doing. So apparently from the city level, it's not being done. So that's when you take it to the next level. We can come together and all of us can have a meeting. And then we can take it to the next level. That's the state, the federal, to the White House, wherever it needs to go, so that our children, our pupils here in Richmond, Virginia can have what they need.
Yeah. Now we
Just
do know
saying,
that.
right, excuse
No, go
me.
right ahead. No,
Oh, I
I
don't
didn't mean
believe
to.
in just staying parked one place. I know it's lost, and I know it's systemic racism. So I can only imagine what's right there. But we still need to come together and collaborate together and take it to the next level.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah,
of
with the
course,
bonds and everything.
the mayor has been touting that there have been a number of new schools built in the city. Would you support whoever is the mayor in terms of continuing to build new schools? Because we have one school, even in the 8th district here, that is new, but unfortunately, because of the growth of this area, it's now has a an occupancy issue. Is one not far from me.
Yes. It. I believe in the new school buildings, and let's not take that in a derogatory manner. However, I believe more in what's inside the new school buildings. When you're building anything,
Hmm.
you're supposed to build it with foresight, not on what the numbers that you see today, just to say that you have a new school building. It's analytical, and you have to be sure that you're looking at the numbers, because numbers are very, very, very important. Just to build a new school, you could have used that money and maybe another million, two or three, and expanded that school and grow into the school. And now we have to take that school and then build another one. So depending on the situation and how we're dealing with our students, because they're the most important, dealing with these buildings and everything. Education is the great equalizer, and we must prepare our students. It's not their fault that they're going through different situations and they're going through different changes. Cutting funding from critical positions, not providing crossing guards for their safety. That's a really sad thing to think, that our board members would vote or not have those in position for them. I had to stand out there and be a safety officer one morning, and I'm not skilled in being a safety officer. Those buses were coming around those corners so fast till I had to get tears in my eyes and go Facebook Live. So
Mm,
yes, I would support buildings, but at the end of the day, and yes, I'm going to say that we have to ensure that our pupils are getting what they need. The history, they need to know who they are. They must know who they are. That's how you excel in life. So I would support that, but it's also other issues that have been neglected that needs immediate support with. We're losing our children, pupils. We're losing them.
absolutely, especially black and brown. I know that in this district there is a large contingency of Hispanics that have moved into the 8th district, and it's growing, exponentially each and every day. Also, we have a large constituency of black kids that are in the 8th district. How do again we go and make sure that we're providing those special services for those kids, black and brown kids?
Well, what I have been doing, and I'm not even on the school board yet, but what I have been doing, I'm a support service specialist, and I have a lot of resources, and I'm connected with a lot of nonprofits that have that empathetic understanding and that unconditional positive God, and they're willing to go the extra mile to a coalition of individuals that's willing to let down their hair, take off their pumps, and roll up their sleeves, untie their shirt, and get to work so we
Mm.
can save the souls and save our children. And that's what I'm working on, and that's who I'm communicating with. Matter of fact, I have an appointment at 6 o'clock Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, just have to check my calendar, with two or three families that's in the 8th district. They was like, but you campaigning, how you gonna come back? I said, I'll be back Thursday at 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna have all the information that you need. I've linked 19-year-old individuals to get their GED. I've seen where they've been raped. It's been domestic violence. they're hurting, their anxiety, the PTSD, the schizophrenia, and we need that. You cannot cut critical positions in Richmond Public Schools and think that our children will excel. That third grade to prison pipeline is real. They don't want to have those conversations, but those conversations need to be had. Everybody says Black Lives Matter. Let's make the lives matter. Everybody life matter.
Absolutely. One of the things that I want to say, we go back to accountability here just for a moment. I've seen you out knocking on the doors. I've seen you in the various communities, being out there when the cameras are not there, which is vitally important to me. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not being facetious or trying to throw anybody up under the bus, but 4 years ago, I saw your opponent, and I haven't seen your opponent until this election year in this community. And I feel that you should be, if you're going to represent this community, you need to be engaged with the community. When elected, and notice I said when elected to the 8th district, would you continue to be accessible to the community, to hear the parents, to hear the students' needs and concerns?
Yes, I'm going to be available. I take rides now. Now, first I was like in this perimeter of Blackwell, but now when I'm driving, I'm out Woodstock, I'm in Brookford, I'm in Adams Park, I'm seeing them, I'm getting out the car, talking to them, and they always say, when you go get you some rest? I say, well, I have a job to do, I have an assignment to do, and it's a need, and that's going to take some time. I'm going to get my rest, but I want to ensure that everybody in this 8th district, that they have someone that they can reach out to and talk to and not be ashamed to voice their concerns, because I also practice confidentiality. I might say a family, but I'm not going to never give that family's name. I'm a human service practitioner, support service specialist. I'm in the community. I'm like that with my clients when I work. I'm always at their house, going to have this place, that place. I just have everything in the car I need, and I'm going to make sure that they're okay, because people can slip away so easy. That's one thing you would never have to worry about, whether or not you're going to see my face in that community. And that's how it was in Blackwell.
I'm going to put up a picture here because this is something that the Richmond Times Dispatch, no, well, actually, the Richmond Free Press, and what they did was a side-by-side analysis and breakdown of you and your opponent. And one of the things that they brought up, this is based on the Richmond Free Press breakdown of you all, is that your opponent basically did some things that brought some undercurrents to the board in terms of taking things off the agenda, not being transparent. So, with that being said, how important is it to you to have a cohesive board, and what does that, not having one, say to our kids?
To have a cohesive board is very important because that allows our kids to know that we care about them. We must be able to be the T, transparent, engaging, and accountable, so our children would know that it's okay to pick up the phone and call us, not to pick up the phone and never get an answer and never call back and never see them in 4 years. That's showing a lack of concern, and that makes children feel like nobody cares about them. They say it's about love. Let's show them that it's about love, not just from the outside and board meeting. Let's show up. Put your tennis shoes on, put your little jogging pants on, and just take a walk around the block. Most kids are linked up on Facebook and let them feel that they're one. Put them on your Facebook page. Let them know. Don't be untouchable, be touchable. That's what it's all about. That's what love is about. Love is charity, and love is the greatest of them all.
And I really appreciate you being so honest and candid about that, because again, I feel, and this is my personal opinion here, that anybody in public office should be accountable, and they should also be role models and leaders. And if your leaders are doing underhanded things, it sends the wrong message to our students. And again, we need leaders that are going to be accountable and transparent and also forthright and forthcoming. All right, Danny, we'll stay right here with you. It looks like that your screen has frozen for a moment, so we're going to take a 30-second break, and hopefully we'll get you uh, unfrozen. I think we have internet issues a lot of time doing this evening because everybody's logging on. So we'll be right back. We're going to give a chance for Dana to log back on. All right, everybody, we're back again. If you know anything about being at home and this new environment that we're in, this pandemic that a lot of people are getting home, they're logging in, and so the internet connections all over the place sometimes will fail. So glad to have you back on. One of the things I was saying as we lost the connection is that we need public officials that are accountable, they're transparent, as you indicated, and that they are good role models because our kids
Yes,
are looking at our leaders. And if we want them to be the next leaders, we need to show them how to behave, how to conduct themselves, and not being forthcoming is not a good look.
that's right. That's right. And you have to really show them, you have to meet them where they are. See, that comes back to that unconditional positive regard and that empathetic understanding. You're not above, we are right where they are, no matter where they are. See, it's best to always realize that you can sit on the mountaintop, but there's a lot of value that's in that valley. So if you're going to stay on the mountaintop, you're going to miss all the lessons and the blessings that you may find that's in the valley. They don't want to hand up. They don't want to hand out. They just need a hand up. I get calls from Wickham Court, Mosby Court, Creighton Court. Dana, come tell us who we supposed to vote for. All of that because they know that I'm real. Real people recognize real people. And I'm not just trying to jump and be on the school board for a name. I found out that you get paid for this position. When I stepped into this role as campaigning as a candidate, I thought it was volunteer. But what I decided to do when I win this election, whatever that money is that they pay you, I'm putting that back into the schools at the 8th district. I thought about their hair, if they needed their hair done or their haircuts, but I know a lot of sisters that's connected to me. They have beauty salons and they are so blessed. It wouldn't take but a phone call to say, I have 10 or 20 girls. Do you think we could shut the shop down and have like a hair day and an empowerment day? And things of that nature to show them that they're loved and show them that this is how you set the table. Some people need that, and that helps them develop and help them grow. One of the things that I really fought for in Blackwell when I went to that Federal Reserve Bank and I was talking to them, they asked me, how can you assure us that this works? I say, well, the ecological system is something that you created. It's supposed
Mhm.
to work. When I looked up the next year, they invited me back and they honored Blackwell with the 96 homes because that's what's needed. It can't be set up like it's a plantation. They taught us what, Christopher Columbus or George Washington, I can't even remember which one, discovered America. And I
Right.
used to be happy to say that, to find out later that that's wrong. The curriculums must be anti-racist and it starts at the core. No need to keep putting a band-aid on it. Let's address this and let's take our city. If we take our city, we take our state. If we take our state, we can take our country forward. But we must be willing to have those conversations and not just talk about it. Let's just be about it. It's time for us to make moves.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a moment about the graduation rate for the Richmond students here. Currently, it's running somewhere between 70 to 75% graduation rate. How do we again change that narrative where we have more our students graduating to go on to whether it's trade school or college or armed services, whatever, and not going to somebody's prisons or correctional
Exactly.
centers?
It all boils down to support services. That's why you have a person, this approach that I utilize with the ecological system. It's a person-centered approach. See, with the person-centered approach, you're not just dealing with the person because it's branches from the person. You have the mother, the father, the other sisters, the other brothers. It's the complete household. You have a healing-centered approach. That's coming in with the mental illness and the post-traumatic stress disorder and the bipolar, the things that they're saying that our pupils have. But do they really have them? Or are they just acting out from an event that's in their community? Now, that's the issue. That's where that unconditional positive regard and that empathetic understanding that you would take the time to sit and be patient and learn and active listen and listen to what's not heard when you're dealing with them. Not so quick just to write an assessment and a diagnosis. And I can do prognosis, and I see that a lot. So when you have the support services, that's that person-centered, that healing-centered, and then you're dealing with a holistic approach. And I'm a licensed and ordained minister, and that brings that part in with the mind, the body, the spirit, and the soul. No, I don't have to be on the school board preaching because my time off of the school board is just my time. I know it's bylaws and I know it's laws that I have to abide by, but it's who I am by nature. It's not something that I learned. It's not something that I picked up. It's what's inside of my heart. They say the heart don't matter. Yes, it does, because what's in your heart will come out in the manifestations of the policies and things that you vote on.
Absolutely. Reverend Sally Allen, talk to the people in closing tonight and let them know why you are the best candidate for the school board for the city of Richmond for the 8th district, the proud 8th district, because I live in the 8th district and I'm proud of where I live. We built our house here and I am, as you see, very involved. And I want to know, just like all the rest of the 8th district would like to know, what makes you the best candidate for the 8th district?
I am the best candidate for the 8th district due to the fact that I saw a need. When I saw that, I'm just going to say it, the incumbent voted against protecting funding for Richmond Public Schools. That just raised a red flag to me. We are already lacking in that funding. So why would you not vote to protect it? Every door that I knocked on in this 8th district since I've been campaigning, I asked them that question. They did not know a vote of that nature was being cast. And they said if they would have known, they would have wanted our representative to vote yes to protect the funding of the 8th district. That raised a serious red flag. And I thought to myself, they don't know what's going on. So I began to do more research. So not having crossing guards raised red flag. So for me, I will ensure, because I'm going to ride around and I'm going to see, I need to know. And when it's not there, I'm going to address it. When I had to stand out there and email cameras, Canberra said, thank you, Reverend Sally Allen, for alerting us. I'm going to start a new pilot program so that we can get those crossing guards out there. Now, the other schools, I'm not sure, but it probably was the same way because some of the constituents have told me that, but I didn't see it with my own eyes. But what I've learned is the constituents that's informing me of things that's happening in our district is true. So I believe that it was. Another thing, I'm going to be engaged. You're going to see me. My door is open. You can knock. You don't have to wait if I don't answer the telephone because I do deal with clients through my employment, a human service practitioner, support service specialist. I'm going to be there for you. And it's just not about schools that I'm going to be there for you. Sometimes you just need a listening ear. And that's what it takes in life. All it takes sometimes is a word. And if you're not engaging and you're not being accountable and you're not being transparent, so many people don't even know her. And I hate to do that, and I'm not bashing. I just speak facts. And they were so happy to meet me and meet someone that it brought tears to my eyes several times when I was leaving the individual houses. And then I said to myself, and I'm a minister, I just got to take it there. God, you have me in this for a reason. You brought me to this place for a reason. What I'm seeing, and they're hurting, the domestic violence, the rape, they deal with substance abuse, things of that nature, and it's not being told. Just like when they deliver the food, you have students and they're in the house with their parents. They have to go to the bus stop. The parent has to go to the bus stop to get the food. Now they're in school with their teachers. If their teacher asks them this question, is an adult in the house with you? and they say no, that takes that to another level. And all the parent did was run out to get food for her family. We have to look at that in another perspective. Then Child Protective Service going to be over there because they said that the child was not herself, and the mother just went to the bus stop to get the food for them. So yes, we need someone that's going to be engaged, that's going to literally stand up and fight for us. We need someone that's going to put fire under their feet to be there. You might have to take 2, 3 hours and ride through a community. What's riding through one community 3 times a week? All you got to do is keep going around through each community. If they know you coming, they're going to have their concerns written out on a piece of paper. I want everybody in this 8th district to know me. I want to know them because I don't like seeing stuff slip through the cracks. I don't. I like to address it. So vote for Dana Sally Allen for your 8th district school board. I know we may have been treated a certain way, but watch what I'm going to do. And you can take that to the bank. Vote for Dana Sally Allen for Richmond School Board, 8th District. And yes, I've been in the community and I'm going to stay in the community. You have my email, blackwellpresident@gmail.com, revdana63@gmail.com, and Dana Sally Allen for School Board 2020@gmail.com. My telephone number is 804-928-8475. That's 804-928-8475. And I do want to say this. Trust is something that's earned.
Mm-hmm.
We can all say we a leader that you can trust, but how can you trust a leader that you don't know? So trust is something that's earned. And believe me, when it's time for a vote on something, I'm going to hear from the constituents because that's where that comes in, where the administration, like the rezoning, they didn't have things ready on time. That's something that needs to be addressed. Was how you gonna put something out there 20 minutes before it's time for the meeting to start, and then we have to vote on it? That sounds like spam to me. I'm just being honest.
Right. Exactly.
So, I'm here. Vote for me, Dana Sally Allen, 8th District School Board Representative. And I'm going to get to work for you. And when I work for you, I know you will work with me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And before you go, Dan, a couple of housekeeping things here. First of all, there's going to be early voting locations that start this Saturday, October the 24th, from 9 to 5. It's going to be at the Hickory Hill Community Center here in the 8th District. You can also go to the West Laburnum location and also City Hall. And then from October the 26th through the 31st, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can go to those locations again, which is Hickory Hill, West Laburnum, and City Hall. And on Saturday, October the 31st, everybody pay attention to this, from 9 to 5, you'll be able to go to those locations. And then on the big day, November 3rd, all polls are open from 7 to 7. I want to say this, you guys, let's when you're out at the polls, make sure you have your social distancing, make sure you have your mask, make sure you have your sanitizer, make sure you have your gloves, because we want you to go vote, but we want you to be safe in doing this. And
Yeah.
this last thing I wanted to do is that on our show, and we take what we do very seriously. We study the facts, we analyze, and then we support the candidate that we think will be the best. And we've analyzed situations, and I plan on going right now. We're 5-2 in the people that we have endorsed. So tonight, Reverend Dana Sally Allen, Cruz Inc. Radio endorses you for the 8th district for our school board here. So we believe in you, we trust you, and just in our spirit, we just feel that you are the candidate for the 8th district.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That is all right. This is live television, here, and she didn't know what I was going to do, and so I wanted to, again, God put it in my spirit and showed me the difference, and I'm going to support somebody that's take our kids and their education seriously. So, all right, when you get to the school board, feel free to come back here and tell us about the progress
Yes.
of the 8th district and the school board.
Yes, I will. It's the tea because it's healing. I will. Thank you so much. I didn't have any idea that was going to come. When I was out there canvassing, I caught a blister on my foot. And I was walking and I was like, okay, God, give me 2 more blocks. I got 2 more blocks. I got 2 more blocks. I say it's about the kids. I didn't know I had a blister then. But when I was home, I saw a blister. And then I couldn't canvass for about a week. And I'm sharing this story because I know this is about the school board, but the power of God and what God can do in our children's lives. All we have to do is allow him to work through us so we can help them evolve and empower them and uplift them and encourage them. They can make it. They can have second chances too. Just because they may have dropped out of school, it's not the end of their life. We must implement something so we can go to them and bring them back in. Just because one goes astray and you have the 10,000 over here, you go after that one. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going after all of them. And I'm quite sure the board members would do the same thing in their district. And when you look up, putting the work in, we can move RPS where it should be. I'm a daughter of Richmond Public Schools. I graduated from Thomas Jefferson High School, and I know it can be done. So thank you, Cruz, for the endorsement. I'm like, whoa, so much. I'm like, thank you for believing in the vision because God gave me this vision, and that's why I'm doing it. And I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to stop. My face will be right where it needs to be. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. I love you. Love the Cruz radio. Thank you so much. It's amazing. It's amazing when you see real people believe in what you're doing because I did not know that I would be really campaigning. When it moved in my spirit, I just took off like a missile was going to the moon.
Well,
So
thank you so much for being here. Again, we're going to accept victory through faith. And we know that when the polls are closed and all the numbers have been tallied, that you will be representing the 8th district, and that I will have another win column for endorsements here because we believe in you.
Okay.
You've earned that, Dana. You really haven't. Thank you so much, and God bless. And again, we'll see you out there some more on the campaign trail. And you have a blessed night. Let everybody know again how to get in contact with you.
Yes, my email is the easiest one would be Blackwell President because everybody's familiar with Blackwell. Blackwell President at gmail.com. That's Blackwell President at gmail.com. And I also have Rev Dana, REV Dana, DANA 63 at gmail.com. And of course, I have my campaign email. D. Sally Allen for School Board 2020 at gmail.com. So if you Google it, I'm going to pop up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. You have a blessed night and blessings to you and your family, and tell them thank you for allowing us to have some of their time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm just excited. I'm filled. Thank you, overjoyed. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. I'm going to help our 8th district. That you can count on.
All right. Then you have a blessed night.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We've had a wonderful conversation with Reverend Dana Sally Allen, who is running for the city school board for the 8th district. And I want to say, go out. If you have not voted, go out and vote for her. And I guarantee you that you will see a difference here in the 8th district, and she's a lady that has impressed us. We looked at the platforms of both candidates. We've looked at what the present candidate has done, and the fact that whether or not who's going to be beneficial to our kids, and that's what matters to me. And I'm in this 8th district, not for any form or fashion, but I'm here to inform you, the listeners in this city, of the things that are crucial, the things that are important, so that you can make informed decisions. So tonight, I'm asking you to, when you go to the polls, remember our Reverend Sally Allen. This is your boy Cruz, the Beast from the East, Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 TV Live. Go right now and listen to cruisinkradio.com. You're going to hear the best music on the internet. You have any questions for us, you can always contact us at cruisinkradio@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me personally at 804-601-0281. I am here for you. I talked about this as I get ready to close. Tom Joyner, I would always hear him say, any radio station, any media, one of their primary things that they have to do is that they have to super serve their community. And that's what we're here to do, is to super serve our community. God bless you. And as I always say on the radio, whatever reaches the heart, or whatever comes from the heart reaches the heart. So let somebody know how much you love them and how much you care, and especially our kids, because they need